Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and welcome back to the Building Hood series, where we continue our build of the 1350 Trumpeter model of HMS Hood. When we last left off, I had just finished putting the wood deck on the deck plates for the hood. Today we're going to start off by painting the boot line on the hood. Now, if you're looking at the hood model and wondering, well, why is it all gray? That is because, in fact, the hood, well, the version that we're building at least, which is the last iteration of the hood, when she went off to fight the Bismarck, she was completely painted above and below the waterline in a flat gray paint. The only thing that wasn't gray in our hull, in fact, was the black boot line, which we are now painting. And literally everything else on the ship was gray. The guns, the superstructure, everything. It's the Royal Navy really just said, okay, we'll deal with gray. Hides everything in the North Atlantic very well, and yeah, the majority of the ship was gray except for the wooden decks and like the top of the smokestacks and some of the higher up bits of the superstructure, like the mast and stuff, which you will see later on. So right now we're going to go ahead and mask up all of the hood's hull except for the one boot line. Now, in this model, the Trumpeter model, this is a split hull model. There's the upper hull and the lower hull. If you weren't watching the last video, we have glued those together. And unlike many a model, there's no line or indentation on the hull to indicate where the boot line is to be painted. So we have to kind of eyeball this, and that's what I'm doing here in this section here. So let's go ahead. With the hull messed up, now comes time to paint the hull. Now, since there is apparently a lack of black Testors paint at every single hobby shop I've been to, I did manage to get a small can of black Testors spray flat black, and that's what we are using today. And here we go. Alright guys, so here's the situation. After painting the boot line, apparently a fair bit of the paint had bled through the painter's tape. And this is painter's tape. This is bought at a hardware store with the purpose of, well, masking off areas to paint on it. Again, I'm not sure if it's the Testors enamel paint that it's just not compatible with or whatever, but it had produced a very not clean boot line. So what I decided to do, because this is the situation I was in, every single hobby shop I went to had around 2 bottles of Testors gray paint, the paint that I used to paint the hull. And obviously I want the rest of the ship to match, and obviously if I have to redo the boot line, I would need to repaint portions of the hull. And I do mean every hobby shop I went to. The break between the first video of the hood and this video, I have gone to Alabama. I went to the Alabama to see their Living History Day. Very cool event, by the way. If you're ever there, I'd highly recommend you go visit the Alabama on a Living History Day. After that, I went to the hobby shop around Mobile. 2 bottles of gray Testors paint.
F2.
I went to San Antonio, Texas. Got to go to Six Flags.
Oh my god.
SeaWorld. The Alamo. Stopped by their hobby shop, and guess what? 2 bottles of Testors gray paint. So, throughout the couple of weeks between the first video and this video, I've been pretty much buying any gray Testors paint I see in any hobby shop that I go into, to where I have accumulated a stockpile of 6 bottles of Testors gray paint. Keep in mind, I have to paint every single thing on the ship this same gray. So while 6 bottles might sound like a lot, it's really not. So I don't really have the paint to redo the entire hull if I need to, which I normally would be able to get, but for some reason paint is also one of the things you can't get a whole lot of right now. So what I decided to do was I hand brushed in the edges that were exceptionally unclean on the boot line. And I went ahead and I remasked it, and I went ahead and tried again for a cleaner boot line, and well, let's see how that turns out. While the boot line dried, I went ahead and painted the rest of the parts for the hood. This took about an hour of airbrushing, and if you never wore a full face mask for that long, like a painter's mask, it gets a little hot under there. But anyway, this took about an hour of painting and 5.5 bottles of gray paint. So enjoy watching me get this done in about 2 or 3 minutes instead of an hour. There's some touch-up work that needs to be done, but at this time this paint was still pretty tacky. I didn't feel like breaking out the brush and potentially making a bigger mess. So once that fully cures, I'll probably go back and straighten it out here and there. But overall, it looks much better. I'm okay with it looking kind of sketchy in some places because the hood was in frontline active service with the Royal Navy after her launch and up until and during World War II because of the Washington Naval Treaty. The signatures of that treaty weren't allowed to, of course, build any new battleships that went over the limit of that treaty, so the Hood was kept in service as the largest and most powerful battleship until the launch of the Bismarck, obviously. So, with that being said, it's time to go ahead and put on the deck and start putting this thing together, also with all of the pieces painted, so enjoy. Alright guys, so that's where we are with the hood model currently. I did a couple of things off camera. I touched up some of the paint on the propeller shaft and braces. They got missed when we were airbrushing, but no worries, I got them there to match the correct color gray. I also went ahead and affixed some more of the superstructure on the bow off camera. Again, just small things here and there, but overall this is where we're at with the hood right now. Next week I should have another update for you, and hopefully she'll be almost completed by then. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. You want to see more of the hood here on the channel, let me know. I'll certainly be glad to keep this up and going on with another model hopefully soon after. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys having a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.